Excuse me. Okay, so I guess now I could talk about the My Little Pony movie. And I will say this before I go. I'll basically leave my, basically the shortened version of it. You know, what I'm gonna say about it right now. Basically, this is how I feel about the movie summing up. As a My Little Pony episode, it's basically like an 8 or 9 out of 10 episode, basically. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and yeah, I liked it. Now, as a film, it's basically a 6 out of 10, basically below average. While it has really nice visuals and great background music, and also great songs too. The main reason why 6 out of 10, simply because of the pacing and the characters. Now, the characters, the way how they are, like personality and stuff, and how they're written, like those are really good characters. But I'm talking about how they are written in terms of, like, you know, like their backstory and stuff. Oh, I was stuck. Like, you know, their backstory and everything, and like basically just how they're written. Mainly, okay, the main problem with it was they introduce new characters, and then they don't. We don't see them very much. They're basically in the movie for a very short time. Those new characters. So that's one of the main problems with the movie, basically. But other than that, I actually really love their personalities and stuff, and how they are. Like, as a slice of what they are, they're actually really enjoyable, is what I'm trying to say. But literally, they just need to have more screen time, basically. That's the main issue. So that's basically how I feel about it. And I actually want one other thing. The main villain didn't have much screen time. As a matter of fact, I was actually kind of curious on how long he was in the movie, The Storm King. And he was in it for about, like, in total from the scenes, 10 minutes. And this is including some of the other moments, like not exclusively him, like say when Twilight was sucked into the vortex and everything, and you know, how she lived from it. It includes that. Also spoilers, by the way. I mean, I'm only talking about it right now because, as I said, I was waiting for it to be available on DVD and Blu-ray, which it is. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it before you listen to what I'm gonna talk about, because there is gonna be spoilers. But this is just my take on it. So yeah. Anyway, let me see if there's obviously more over there, and there's also other, like, somewhere in this area, not just on the boats. So yeah. Anyway, go on the second one now. Fuck. Oh, I'm standing on that thing. Fuck. Got it. Okay. Alrighty. Let me go get this one. These are like one of those female turtle things. Ah! It's okay. Yeah, I got it. 3. Got it. Alright, so this is the first time I'm reviewing something while playing. That's what I was about to say. So I might, like, not mention everything clearly, but I'll do the best I can, basically. So, alright, so yeah, I did, so now onto the movie. So basically, from watching it, I was really hyped about it, especially the intro and everything. Like, you know, the movie introduces to the world of Equestria with that really nice pony song, like the "We Got the Bee" kind of thing. I really liked it. Though I will say, and one more other thing I forgot to mention is that this little review will also include some of the information and tidbits from the art of the My Little Pony movie book, basically, which I just ordered from Amazon. I actually went through it. It was a really enjoyable read, like really enjoyable book. So I highly recommend it, especially those that are really interested in animation and stuff. Seriously, go get this book. It's really worth it. Like, really has really a lot of nice information and stuff. So I highly recommend it. So I read in the book that it turns out that the movie was supposed to introduce the Storm King and like how he was terrorizing this one land, basically to show his might and how much of a threat he was. And the movie was also going to introduce Scorpan. Now the thing about Scorpan, basically, I'm actually glad they didn't introduce him because then that's already too many characters to begin with. So it's best that they didn't introduce him in that movie and just introduce him in the show, which I'm hoping they would do. So it was supposed to be introduced with the Storm King wreaking havoc and like getting the staff basically to show how much of a threat he was. Now originally there was another beginning towards My Little Pony movie, which was one of the deleted scenes from the DVD or Blu-ray, where it basically explains about the princesses and what they do, and saying about how there's this one like pony about that's a threat, which was Tempest Shadow, which showed her eyes and everything. It was showed briefly in the second trailer, by the way. We know where it shows her eyes while she's laughing. That was one of the deleted beginning scenes, basically, where, you know, that was meant to introduce the princesses and Equestria and everything. But of course they didn't use it. They had to scrap it so that they could use one of that like pop song kind of thing. Which obviously now goes to my one criticism, is that I actually do prefer how they were supposed to begin the movie, where they talk about, you know, Equestria and the princesses, and then like shows Tempest Shadow, because it provides a great introduction. But mainly, what I wish they would have included was when they were going to include like the Storm King and stuff, and they were going to address how much of a threat he was. You have to do this. Yeah, so honestly, that their idea of introducing the Storm King and stuff, they should have done it like that instead of using the song and everything. They could have. I'm fine if they did the song, but it would have been best if they would have cut it out and include how the Storm King, how dangerous he was and stuff. Just to show also the movie being serious for the new audiences, basically. So yeah, I wish they would have done that, but sadly they didn't. So that's kind of one criticism that I actually have. And so now we get to go to the other part, basically, of the movie. Anyway, so fuck. There we go. And that's the last one. So, okay, so then the movie begins with Spike going to Twilight and stuff and then introducing her. I actually loved how they introduced her and stuff. I thought they did really well with it. I especially love this one joke where Spike was like, just remember what you should do, and then she's like, smile. It was so funny. It was also pretty cute too. So I love what they did there. So what they did with Twilight was good. I loved it. Then they introduced the three princesses, both Princess Celestia and Luna, and then of course Cadence. You know how I felt about having Cadence. Like I knew like having her was kind of a bad idea because now you have an extra character that you have to explain. So I knew that was gonna be an issue, but actually it was, I'm gonna say, okay with how they started it, but bear in mind, I still have big criticisms about the princesses and then like how they did with them basically. So, okay, so they introduced them, and I love how they introduced how they introduced them and what they do, and also about Twilight. So, you know how she's basically explaining about how to do the concert festival mathematically with the raising the sun, moon, and using Cadence to provide, you know, the crystal magic effect, basically. So, okay, they provided a good way to explain the princesses from what their purpose, what they do, basically, from Twilight. Now, of course, that would have also been addressed had they kept that deleted scene part, because it also addresses what they do, basically. So they should have kept that, but at least they you know how I said my main concern was how they were going to introduce them, what they do and stuff. Okay, they did a good job with that. I will say this. It's not perfect, but it's decent, I would say. So, okay, I did the card. I want to do the carnival thing again. It was fun. Okay, so yeah, now they introduced it. Now then they introduced the main 6, and I loved how they did with it. They showed their traits and stuff: Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Applejack, and Rarity. I love what they did. I thought it was pretty funny and it was really like nice and stuff. And yeah, so okay, so then it moves on to the first song of the movie, which was "We Got This Together," and it was a really nice song. I loved how they started it off and how they began it, like showing Equestria stuff and all that. Well, Canterlot. You don't really see Ponyville or anything. It's just Canterlot, basically. You just only see Canterlot. Why is it? Why I'm not doing that? I don't know why I was doing it like that. So, okay, so we go over the song. It was nice and stuff, and then we see this character, Songbird Serenade, which is played by Sia. Now, of course, I knew Songbird Serenade wasn't really gonna be in the film that much because I knew Hasbro just put her in just for advertising. So I knew she was gonna have a big part, and that's another criticism. Of course, she didn't do anything, basically. She was just advertising the wilted sunflowers. Excuse me, my throat, for some reason, is getting a little agitated. It's not from talking, it's just how it is, but I can still talk. Okay, the wilted sunflowers. This is, I think when you complete this level, that's how you get Yoshi. At least that's how it worked for me, basically. I don't know if it's gonna work in this, because maybe if I need to collect more Shine Sprites, I don't know, we'll see. But this is where I thought I thought these were Yoshi eggs, but just watch. Anyway. Okay, so I knew she wasn't gonna do a big part, and my brother also made a comment that she was basically just like that Zootopia, you know, that anthropomorphized, like, furry, like, that singer in the Zootopia movie? She was basically like that. Also, that character in the movie also had very limited screen time, so yeah, Songbird was basically like that, basically. So, my brother commented on that and I agreed. Close for the day, excuse me. Anyway, so, okay, we get to her. Obviously she didn't do much, so then we just glance over that. Now then, that's when the villains show up. And I also loved how they went with it. Okay, they're in an airship. Excuse me. Anyway, so, and then we like get to see absolute silence with Grubber carrying the microphone device going down. I loved how they did that, and like that suspense. And then okay, so then it reveals about Grubber and the Storm King, and then finally Tempest, who is basically the best character in the entire movie. I really loved, like, you know, Tempest and stuff all throughout. So yeah, she was a great character and stuff. I really enjoyed her. And like how she needed the princesses and stuff. And then we see Celestia, Luna, and Cadence come down along with Twilight and stuff, and they said they weren't gonna give her the magic and stuff, and then there was the whole big, like, invasion and stuff. And then, now, we get to one of the main problem with the movie. Like I said, they didn't utilize the characters. I was hoping they would use Cadence, Luna, at least Cadence, and, I mean, not Cadence, I mean Celestia and Luna, my apologies. Celestia, I was hoping they would use Celestia and Luna more, basically, in the movie. Like, they'd have a bigger part, or at least, you know, like, have a part in the movie, basically. And I watched this. This is actually really creepy. Look at this. I literally thought it was Yoshi Egg, and it turns out it's this. And I was like, what the fuck is that? They're so fucking scary. And I just do this. I don't know how you get to open these things. Anyway, that's how you get the flowers back. You do this. Oh. That egg just hatched on the beach. That's it? Fuck. I was about to spray it, but I was kind of hesitant. I was thinking about something. Because of these fake eggs, the Yoshis of this island have fled. Really? I mean, so is that it? I thought it was some, you know... I fucking hate those guys. Anyway, okay, what was I talking about? Okay. So of course the princesses get captured. They basically get turned to stone with one of these magical orb things. I always thought that it was basically these spells by Tempest or magic from the Storm King, but they could have been just like weapons basically that could turn you into stone or crystal. I'm gonna go with stone. They turn you into stone or crystal. They were kind of shiny, you know, the princesses when they were. This is too hot to do anything with. Would you mind hosing it down? Okay, is that it? Hosing what down? This tank? It's just okay. It's just him commenting. All right. Anyway, let's do the main challenges now. All right. So what else? What else? Also, I forgot the name of the challenge. There we go. Alright. So yeah, they obviously get captured, so basically, they're completely absent from the movie, like, all throughout most of it. We don't really get to see them, like, do anything and stuff, which I was really disappointed about, but... Yeah, that was the main criticism I had, that I knew going in, realizing. So, okay, so then Celestia quickly had to tell Luna about going across the Badlands to seek the Queen of the Hippo. That's what she said, and it was cut off when Tempest attacked, basically. So it made Twilight think Queen of the Hippos, basically. So, okay, so then they get captured, their land gets... They basically get invaded. Oh, and Twilight was about to be turned to stone, but then Derpy showed up and also Rainbow Dash and actually literally saved her. So in reality, Derpy kind of saved Equestria in a way. Now in that scene in particular, I was kind of confused because I thought it was Rainbow Dash that saved her, and I was like, wait, it was Rainbow Dash, where did Derpy come from? But then, of course, after rewatching it a second time, then you see Derpy in the corner running, and then Rainbow Dash at the same time swoops in and saves her. So I was kind of confused at that part in the movie. I was like, wait, what happened? But yeah, that's what happened. So okay, so then they run off, then they fall down off the bridge, and then they, like, you know, go in the waterfall, and then they had to think about what to do. So then this was the time when they were like, we have to go leave Equestria across the unknown land to find this Queen of the Hippos, basically. So then they go off. Oh, what happened? Was he about to go up? Get up, I mean? Fuck. Alright. Let me talk to the flower people. That just happened. Oh, they talking about. What is this? Does it say Peanut Park? The wilted sunflower. Oh, I already said what they were called. Fuck. Okay. Excuse me. Alright. So let's see. Okay, so then we actually get to witness the Storm King, where he actually communicated with Tempest by potion, kind of like a phone. So it was pretty funny in that movie. So okay, so then we get to see the Storm King and stuff. He actually looked really badass. What the fuck? Okay, I guess I didn't do it fast enough. Okay, now that's like it was going up much faster. Fuck. And that's it. Oh, it says all the Yoshis have fled? Is that... Do they mean the entire Isle Delfino? These eggs in particular? Those things, I mean? And then once you complete this challenge, then you get the Yoshis? I think that's what happened. That could be it, actually. Let's find out. Let's see if there's gonna be another Shadow Mario challenge. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is another level you have to do if you want to like continue on to a new world. This is another world. This one is like one of my favorites. I love doing this challenge. I mean, I don't know, it might be tricky like talking, so I'll basically do it because I actually do want to do it. Anyway, we have to face off against Shadow Mario now. All right. So what was I talking about? Let's see. Okay, so we get to meet the Storm King. Said he needed to charge up the staff, basically using the princess's magic, so then he could, you know, create a storm, basically. Oh fuck! Hold on. Oh, where did he go? Okay, he went. Oh yeah, he went up top. I thought it was just a jump. Fuck. There he is. Fuck! God damn it! Okay, let's try again. Hold on. Where did he? Is he still up top? Fuck. I hope I didn't lose him. Oh, there he is. Okay. Let me actually. Okay, there we go. Okay, he's finished. Darn, and I was just about to ride that Yoshi too. Now you have to give him bananas. All right. Okay, now I can continue talking. All right. So, Storm King wants magic and stuff using that staff that obviously doesn't do anything, and said that he'd use it to repair her Tempest's horn. So then Grubber comes in and says that he lost the princess, and then that's how they went on to track them down. And then it moves on to the desert. Basically, that's the new world that the ponies had to go to, which was beyond Equestria. And I actually loved how the scene went when Pinky was going insane because the hot heat and stuff in the desert. That scene kind of reminded me of Avatar. You know when Sokka drank the cactus juice and he was going delirious? It kind of reminded me of that scene with Pinkie Pie. I was like, oh, she's kind of like going like Sokka, kind of. So yeah, it was kind of funny. And okay, so then they then made it to this town which was called Klugetown, basically. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I really loved the way how this place was portrayed, basically. Like, you see all these monsters, like these foreign creatures. Like, watching it literally didn't feel like they were part of a My Little Pony world, basically. Which, that's what it's supposed to be. They're, like, supposed to be, like, completely different and stuff. So I thought it was kind of interesting, basically. Like, it kind of reminded me of what they did in the movie SpongeBob. You know how when they were going to Shell City, and of course then they had to get their car back from that one crook, basically. And then they had to stop. They found out that he was at a bar, basically, and this was the scene where you see all these tough guys, like, you know, and all that, and like this dangerous area. That's what it kind of reminded me of in the movie, like where they go into, it's basically cute characters. I wouldn't say SpongeBob, Patrick are cute, but like bright, happy, you know, non-threatening characters going to a world where it's like completely like, you know, dark, desolate, like basically like, you know, kind of sketchy, I would say. So it happened in the SpongeBob movie, it also happened in the My Little Pony movie. And then, okay, and then Capper gains notice of them. And then while they were going around, I'm gonna do this world, by the way. While they were going around and stuff, then they were getting hassled by all these town folks, and how they want to purchase this stuff and everything. You know, so, and then Capper shows up and saves them, the Monta Storm. And I loved how, you know, he came up with the disease of, I think it's called Pastelius Coloritis, pastel colored ponies. And like, how did he trick this one guy, that the fish man, I'm gonna call him Fish Man because that's what Grubber referred to him, and how, you know, they thought he was poisoned, and he's like, you better not touch anything because parts will fall off, and then he touches his dick, and it's like, I didn't notice that was a dick joke in the movie, like, people had to point that out, and I was like, oh, they actually did it, you know, so Anyway, this is another. This is kind of a boss challenge, kind of. I'll call it. I'll refer to it as definitely a boss challenge. So you have to face off against this manta ray that is able to develop like this kind of goo, basically. Well, what? The hotel vanished. What does that mean? Hey, what's going on? What's this nonsense? You fix it now. Also, I noticed, apparently, talking about the My Little Pony movie really takes a lot of time. So, I'll probably play till 3:30. I mean, I'm hoping my brother or my mom doesn't show up. If they do, I'll definitely continue on what I was talking about later. Yeah, and we'll